Hey everybody, Brian Zane here with my predictions for AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view happening this Saturday night. In an alternate universe, alternate timeline, this show will be back in Las Vegas for the second year in a row, and I may very likely have been part of the festivities for that weekend, but such is life, c'est la vie, maybe next year. But I'm still excited about the show, beginning with the buy-in match. You're going to have a number one contenders match for the tag titles as the Best Friends take on Private Party. Now, I'm torn as to who's going to win this one. I feel the Best Friends have been on a roll for a very long time. They've been on TV an awful lot, far more than Private Party as of late. And, it's interesting because it's face versus face. And we've seen that AEW is not above doing high-profile face versus face matchups in singles or in tags. I mean, look at their match at Revolution with Hangman Page and Omega versus the Young Bucks. That was a face versus face match, and that was a badass match. So I'm expecting a great match here with these two teams. If I had to pick one team, I'd say Best Friends are going to win this one, solely because of momentum and because at the rate they're going, still doing empty arena shows, the Best Friends have been there. They're the consistent ones, so I would, they'll eventually take on Page and Omega, and that'll be face versus face. But yeah, that's kind of the way I see it here. In a casino ladder match to determine a number one contender for the World Championship, you have these 9 names here in the lower third. Well, actually 8 confirmed names and 1 mystery opponent who's not been revealed yet. And for the life of me, I'm not going to bother to try and speculate who it is. I'm just going to let the surprise wash over me on this one. But if you have any guesses of who you think is going to be the 9th man, let me know in the comments section, because I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are with this one. This is interesting because it's for number one contendership for the world title, but I don't see any of these guys at all right now being world champion, and I don't see any of them beating Moxley. Spoiler alert, I think Moxley's going to win the world title match. But anyway, I mean, as far as who could benefit from a short program against the champion for a little bit for the championship, I don't know. I'm kind of torn right now between FENIX and Kip Sabian. If I had to pick one of those, I'd probably go with Kip Sabian. I think he's kind of on a roll right now. He's doing pretty well for himself, and I could see him in a nice little micro program with Jon Moxley for the title. That could be pretty fun, and getting Penelope Ford involved as well might be interesting. So that's going to be my pick, is Kip Sabian. Shawn Spears will take on Dustin Rhodes, a man that Shawn retired and unretired in one promo this week on Dynamite. That was very impressive. It's Dustin's first match back since getting beaten half to death by Lance Archer in that championship tournament. So this one, I don't expect much of an upset in Dustin winning here. I think that Shawn's going to get the win because he's been on a roll, and I mean, it seems they're trying to do more with him now. He had a big fanfare when he first debuted last year. Then there was a severe cooling off period for a while with him. And now I feel, especially in these empty arena shows, he's really been getting showcased a whole lot more. And I love the character he portrayed in the whole SSN thing. Like I said on Wednesday Warfare, I want to see that being a recurring thing. I think that's great heat. So yeah, I see Shawn winning this one. It's going to be a great match because Dustin works well with just about anybody. And Shawn's great too. So it's going to be a very good match. But yeah, I think that Shawn's going to win. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, will take on Chris Statlander in a match I'm not entirely sure why they're fighting. We saw them wrestle each other in the tag team match this week, but I don't know if I can recall what the basis of their feud is right now. And I watch Dynamite every week, so you got me. If I'm totally wrong, let me know, because I'm not really catching it right now. But I think it's going to be a good matchup here. I've really enjoyed Britt's coming into her own as a heel now, the self-proclaimed role model. I've really been enjoying Chris Statlander's work since she got signed to the company, and her brief meteoric rise up to the championship match she had several months ago. And so I want to see them both do well here. I think my pick to win... Boy, this is a tough one, kind of a coin flip for me. I think you can make an argument for either woman to win, but I would probably go with Chris to being the winner here. I think she probably needs a good win right now. I think Britt's the kind of character where she can really take that loss and run with it and do something really fun. So I think that Chris is going to get the win here. MJF will take on Jungle Boy here. I'm really looking forward to this matchup because I love MJF's character. He's such a cocky heel who still has lots of faults, character flaws as he wrestles, and it comes back to bite him, but he's ultimately able to pull one out in a very sneaky way. And then you've got Jungle Boy, who's just a tremendous athlete, and he's just so fun to watch when he gets fired up and gets going in the ring. I believe these two have wrestled before in the past, in the early days of Dynamite, if my memory serves correctly. But yeah, I believe MJF's going to win this one because that's what he does, and he's going to have Wardlow there, I'm sure, and he's going to cause some sneak attacks. Being a little sneaky, that Wardlow, the world's largest ring bearer, as JR referred to him this week on Dynamite. So yeah, I think what you've seen from MJF, you're going to see more of. He's going to find some sneaky ass way to win. Nyla Rose will defend the Women's Championship against Hikaru Shida, who has been the #1 contender, or at least #1 ranked in the women's rankings for about 3 months now. It's been a long time coming to finally get this championship match, and I'm very excited for it. Based on the interactions we've seen with them the last couple of weeks, Nyla dinking her in the head with the kendo stick 2 weeks ago, and this week Shida superplexing her, almost brainbustering her through the table, by the way. It was a very close call. Thin line between suplex and shitty brainbuster onto the table onto Nyla Rose there. But this is, I think it's going to be an interesting match. The size difference obviously plays a role in the story they're telling. Shida's been great in her run so far, and Nyla's just dominant. I do believe Nyla's going to win, though. I don't see Shida winning just yet. I can see her coming back and getting it eventually, but I don't see the title changing hands just yet, because they spent so long with Riho as champ for a long time. Nyla's not been champ for very long. I don't see her. I mean, it would be weird for her to just kind of drop it so soon, I think, to Shida. So we'll probably get a title change. You know, maybe Shida will win down the line, but not right now, in my opinion. In your TNT Championship Tournament Finals, Cody takes on Lance Archer. The winner will become the inaugural champion, and Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, is going to be there to deliver the belt, present the belt to the winner. And they've heavily implied that Mike Tyson will be involved in some way physically in the matchup. So there's that to consider. And then, of course, you've got this is a classic. This is a perfect match for Cody because there's so many variables. It's like the David versus Goliath story. You've got a manager in each corner. You got Jake Robertson, Arn Anderson. You're probably gonna have Brandy Rose get involved too, because that's what she does in big high-profile Cody matches. You've got Mike Tyson there as the X Factor. So much could possibly go on. I mean, everything could happen or nothing could happen, but we know with the Cody match, everything's gonna happen. As far as who's gonna win this one, I think you can make a good argument for either guy to win. I mean, I like the idea of Lance being this dominant champion right out the gate, and of course, like, it's one of those things where it's, oh god, how could you have him lose after he's so dominant all these weeks he's been on television? But I think he's had a pretty decent run in that role, and I think Cody's had so many big high-profile losses since AEW started that I believe he's going to win this one. I think he's going to be the first TNT champion. And, people could argue, oh, it's the whatever, it's because he's the booker or whatever. Fine, but I think it also tells a really good story, a good redemption story, how he has to win this championship, because he lost the AEW title match to Jericho. He lost the match to MJF. So, yeah, him winning the championship here, I think, makes a lot of sense. Like, after 2 strikes, the third one, he comes out on top, and he's able to, win the championship. And I think it will be a very... it's going to be a thin line between highly booked and overbooked, I believe. But I think it's going to be entertaining nonetheless, and I think Cody's going to come out on top as the new champion, and Lance might hurt a little bit from this loss, but not for long. Jon Moxley will defend the AEW World title against Mr. Brody Lee, the Exalted One, the leader of the Dark Order. And like I mentioned this week on Wednesday Warfare, for some reason this one's not clicking with me. I'm not as excited about this match as I feel like I should be, because... I don't know, the way they've been building it. Like I said on Wednesday, or Thursday, I guess, I feel that Brody came into this scene a little too soon. I'm excited to see this matchup, and I know they have great chemistry from the years they spent in WWE and CZW, but I just don't feel this particular build. I mean, it's cool that we're getting variety in competitors right now for the championship, but I don't see this outcome being any different. I think Moxley is going to win here, and I think that where's Brody going to go from here? Where's the Dark Order going to go? This is the strongest the Dark Order has looked in a long time, so curious to know how they're all going to recover, but that's the story for another time. I just believe that Moxley is going to retain. And finally, the first ever Stadium Stampede match. We don't get blood and guts just yet. That's for later, obviously, but we're going to have the Stadium Stampede match as the Inner Circle take on the Elite plus Broken Matt Hardy. And the ring's going to be in the 50-yard line of the big football stadium that's adjacent to Daly's place, and they're going to wrestle and fight pretty much wherever, is what they're saying. It's up in the steps and everywhere all over the field. This has the potential to be a lot of fun, because we saw that street fight a couple of weeks ago where Matt Hardy and Omega took on Jericho and Guevara, and that was pretty wild. A golf cart was involved. There's an ice chest. What kind of shit can they get into in an entire big-ass NFL stadium? I think there's a lot of possibilities where they can go with this that can be really entertaining, like some devastating moves happening here. I mean, my mind is a flutter with all kinds of ways I could go with this one. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I would not be surprised if this were the main event, the final match on the show, just because it is so different. And also I think that match has a lot more potential of being like, wow, it's a whiz-bang way to end the show, more so than Moxley and Brody Lee, as sad as that is to say. As far as who I think will win, I believe the Elite is gonna come out on top here. I don't think we're quite ready to see that inevitable explosion between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. I think the Inner Circle's gotten a lot of wins leading up to this point. I mean, we saw how they won the street fight, so I would imagine the Stadium Stampede could be a different story. I mean, it's really a coin flip. I think you could argue for either side, but I think that this is gonna be kind of a feel-good pay-per-view. I get the feeling that like a lot of like the people that fans want to see win are gonna win. And so my bold prediction here is that the Elite are gonna come out on top here and win the Stadium Stampede. But it's gonna be a lot of fun getting there. But those are just my picks. What do you think is gonna happen this Saturday at Double or Nothing? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you later in the weekend with my review of the show. But until then, I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.